It's over.
What's rocking, my rock and rollers? No special intro or anything today like that. I think that little clip at the beginning from Doctor Strange 2 sums it up perfectly. We're going to be discussing the series finale of The Boys, which I just finished watching like 20 minutes ago, so this is kind of fresh in my mind. So, let's just get started. And, yeah, it's over. Oh my god. So, okay, there are parts I liked. There are parts I did like. So let's just, I guess, start from the beginning. So the episode opens with Frenchie's, funeral. All the boys, Butcher and then all of them are there. And I was like, okay, we're gonna have a nice send off for Frenchie. And Huey reads like a kind of like Huey reads like Frenchie's will he left behind, what he wanted to say, and of course they had to throw in like butthole jokes, like wait, just right out the gate. And it's like, you couldn't have just one scene of like actual genuine emotion, and people would be like, oh, but like it wouldn't be the boys, it's what they are. And it's like, no, like, you couldn't have just one scene, especially like a death of one of your main characters, just no jokes, play it serious. But no, they couldn't do that. So they do that, and then I think the scene, it cuts to Ryan, who's in some cabin, and Homelander shows up saying like, hey, I want you by my side, you're my son, blah blah blah. And Ryan basically tells him to go F himself. I don't want to say it here on YouTube like in the first 2 minutes or whatever, but yeah, he basically tells him like, screw off. And that part I did like. Ryan basically saying like, I'm not like you, I don't want to be like you, I want nothing to do with you. That, okay, I kind of liked. And then Homelander just leaves. And then it cuts back to the boys, and Kimiko's sad, obviously. And Sister Sage is there, basically, taunting her, like, oh, you didn't like Frenchie, he was the stray that took in, not you, blah, blah, basically, like, poking the bear. And she uses, Kimiko uses, like, the chest blast, the Soldier Boy thing, and takes out Sage's powers, and it turned out that Butcher, basically used Sage to kind of test if Kimiko did have the power, which she did. And Sage is now like dumb, like a normal smart human, which I didn't catch this until after. But I thought about it. I thought back on it. Wait a minute. So Sage is now dumb. Like, hey y'all. Like, oh what you? Like, she's acting like a normal kind of exaggerated dumb person. And what got me was I just started thinking like, wait, hold up. So the writers, a black woman can only be smart if she has powers, like. Isn't that kind of racist? Like, am I just like reading too much into that? You guys correct me. Like, is that what they're saying? Kind of like, whatever. Let's see. I have some other stuff written down. So there's that, and then they go to the White House because Homelander it's Easter. He's gonna like reveal to the the world that I'm God. I'm your second coming, whatever. And so the boys go in through like the tunnels underneath the White House that JFK supposedly smuggled Marilyn Monroe out. There's that, and that happened a little bit before. I'm jumping all over the place, but there's a scene where, again, another like jab at Elon Musk, where there's this dude who's talking to Father. Homelander shows up. It's somewhere in the White House. Homelander says like, hey, who's this guy? He's all like, he's like the richest man, and you can see he has like the black, I can't see, I forgot what it said, but something like America like hat, like the hat that Elon wore when the 2024 election. And all like they said, oh, this guy, he's like, he wants to go to space, he's rich, he's like electric cars and everything. And okay, another jab at Elon, really. And then Homelander, like, it was kind of funny, he like grabs him, throws him up into space, comes down real quick, and then they're like, wait, where'd you go? And he's like, oh, he wanted to go to space, so I took him to space. So that was kind of funny. The Deep shows up, basically trying to, quabble at Homelander's feet, like, oh, like, I'll do anything, like, oh, give me a chance. Homelander basically says, like, I never liked you, you're a piece of shit, get away from me, I never respected you, I don't want anything to do with you. And Deep's like, oh, you can actually tell he's actually hurt, like, oh, what? So there's that. Like I said, the boys go to the tunnel. Homelander's doing the speech, and like there's people watching, all over. Well, I don't say all over. They just show one room, and it's like, okay, this not global, but this like countrywide event of Homelander dressed in nations, just this one group of people in the auditorium watching. But okay, which that kind of leads into a bigger problem with this season, which I'll get to at the end. But he's giving the speech, and then as he's doing that, like Father and everyone else is in the White House, we're gonna walk around. Butcher comes in, they go into the tunnels, like a special trip activated, like a soup detector type thing that blasts like a kind of like a sound wave, I guess. It's like a speaker sound wave, and so Butcher and them are in the tunnels, like basically stopped. And then Ashley, someone comes up to Ashley, hey, like we have a motion detector, in the basement. And Father's like, oh, it's Butcher and them. Ashley says, I'll handle it. She goes down there. She runs away from her security team to rescue Butcher and just saying, hey, like, you guys need to, take out Homelander. He's right down there. Go over there. Go take him out for me. So they get into the White House. They kill some guys. They see, they encounter the Deep. And Starlight pushes Deep out the window, which we saw in that trailer. And they have their fight. Which I guess I'll do that now. So, well, I don't want to say Starlight killing Deep because she didn't really kill him. So they have a fight, and she basically, like, on the beach, and she was like, hey, like, they crash on the beach, sorry. And she's like, hey, like, you're better than this, like, you don't need to, like, get Homelander's approval while you're doing this, and basically telling him to man up, and Deep's like, no, I don't want to. So they're fighting, she pushes him in the ocean, and then, of course, the other sharks, because, the pipeline from earlier in the season, the sharks are swimming around him, and I think it was like an octopus, maybe a squid, but it was an octopus, like, wraps his tentacle around Deep, and, like, I'm assuming goes up his butt through his mouth, because the tentacle comes out of his mouth. So I'm assuming that's what happened, and I'm assuming the sharks ate him, because that's what sharks do. So the Deep being killed by sea creatures, that's kind of funny. That is kind of like karma. I just funny. So there's that. Father. So then it's Kimiko, Butcher, MM, and Huey versus Father. He comes in, like, trying to knock him down, and Huey tells Butcher, like, we got this. So Huey's trying to, like, he shoots a smoke detector. It comes down. Father doesn't know where they are. And then Huey and MM go out the door, and Huey's doing a Butcher impression, like, oi, follow me. Father comes in. He corners Huey. And MM sees something on the desk, which... like a metal ball gag that Ashley bought Father early in the episode. So Father's just about to, like, kind of blow Huey away, and then MM comes up behind him and, like, puts the gag in his mouth and basically, like implodes him, and then his head explodes because his mouth is blocked, his voice is blocked. So Father's dead, and then we get to, like, the meat of the episode. Well, meat, air quotes, of Butcher. Like the final battle, Butcher versus Homelander, the boys versus whatever you want to say it. So, as the camera's rolling, Butcher comes in, and Kimiko, they knock the camera over, and the camera's like, so it's still going live. The camera's showing, like, the fight, part of the fight, at a weird angle. So I was kind of like, okay, like, maybe they were saving the budget. I saw some rumors that they were maybe saving the budget for the last episode. Like, well, we're gonna go out the big brawl, and they did fight, but it just felt like weightless and wasteless both. Like, and people, I saw someone mention this, and I thought the same thing. Like, the fight at Herogasm from season 3 with, like, Soulja Boy, Homelander, and Butcher, that felt way more, like, impactful and better than this fight. Which is, it's kind of sad. Like, the big final confrontation is just like, eh. So yeah, Butcher, they're all fighting, and so it's Butcher and Kimiko versus Homelander. Ryan shows up as well, crashed through the window to help, and he gives Butcher the nod, like, hey, we're gonna, like, take him out together. They're fighting him, and Kimiko's about to, like, she's trying to do, like, the blast, and she can't, and then, like, she has a vision of Frenchie saying, like, oh, like, why can't you? And she's like, I'm not strong enough. He's like, oh, it's about love, which, okay, whatever. So she does it, and then Butcher, Homelander, and Ryan, like, they all get blasted. The scene cuts to, like, Butcher waking up, and you see Homelander over there on the ground. He wakes up, and he tries to laser Butcher, doesn't. So Homelander's powerless, which is what kind of some speculated, that he was going to get, like, depowered and be human. And now it's just, human Butcher versus human Homelander, which a lot of people, I've seen some comments online, a lot of people are mad at that. I guess we'll just get into it. Well, actually, before I start, so it's human versus human. Butcher just beats the shit out of him, and then Homelander starts like going on his knees, like, you know, I'll suck your dick, like, please, like, just let me live. And Butcher has a crowbar and like just sticks the crowbar in his head, and then like does this and like goes back, and his brains are all over the floor. So Homelander's dead, and that's really about it that all happened, pretty much. So that's the big main thing. And then real quick to wrap up the episode. So the scene cuts to the boys at some farmhouse, and they're like, yeah, like we won. And then Butcher sees that Tara is dead. His dog died. So Butcher remembers the virus. He goes to Vought Tower, which this is the part that I caught right away. So the rest of the boys are on the porch, like celebrating with cigars and everything. Butcher's in the bedroom, sees Tara's dead. He walks out. Huey walks into the bedroom, doesn't see Butcher, and then leaves. But it's like, and it's just him. So Butcher goes to Vought Tower, and then Huey goes to Vought Tower, but the other boys don't. So I'm like, did they just not see Huey go out the door? Like, or did he tell him to stay back? Like, why is it just Huey goes after Butcher? So Butcher's in the tower. He wants to kill all Supes like he's wanted to. He put like the virus in like the air conditioning vent. Huey says no. They have a fight. Butcher's about to pull the trigger, and then Huey shoots him. Butcher dies, and that's the other like main character dying. And then to wrap it up, Stan Edgar, so like the Giancarlo Esposito comes back. He's like the interim Vought president. MM adopts Ryan, is what it seems like. Basically, he gets back with his wife. Kimiko's in Paris. Annie and Huey are together, and Huey has his own like a kind of cable store, kind of which goes back to season 1. I thought that was kind of a nice turnaround. And they're having a baby, and that's about it. That's about all that happened. So now let's get to the main gripe. So the Butcher and Homelander. So Homelander on his knees begging for mercy. I don't mind that. Like, some people I've seen are like super mad. I don't mind it, but like it didn't feel earned. Like this whole season didn't. Like, you remember the posters? Like, oh, we're gonna go score shorts. Oh, glow. Homelander has like all the Supes on the world like at his fingertip. Oh man, it's gonna be like awesome. Butcher's gonna be like John Wick, just going through taking out all Supes what they set up at the end of season 4, and we got none of that. It's the same, and don't give me this. I've seen some cope like, oh, maybe they didn't have the budget. This is fucking Amazon. They have the money. They just didn't want to. Homelander had the V1 for 2 episodes and did nothing with it. He got the V1 at the end of it. No, really, what episode and a half? Like he got the V1 at the end of episode 6. Okay. Oh, dude, he's immortal now. Oh my God. He does nothing with it. He doesn't get to showcase his power. Nothing. Like that is. It's like if Thanos got the stones in Infinity War and then got taken out. Like, he didn't get to use the power. Like, that's the same thing they did here. They did all this build-up. Oh my God, the V1, he's immortal. And then he gets taken out. And it's like, okay. Like, they should have either not done the V1 at all, which probably would have been better, or did it like in season 4. Like, that was what season 4 was about. And then at the end of season 4, he becomes immortal. And then, if they were smart, like the posters for season 5, what they show was like all the Butcher walking in the White House, all the Supes, Vought Tower destroyed, Homelander looking down, everything blown up. That could have been all season 5. It actually makes season 5 look like that. Don't chimp out like not chimp, but chip out like they did here. Actually make the season that budget. That could have been the whole final season. Oh, that would have been so cool. Again, Homelander, like, I was just talking to a friend yesterday over text. Like, we could have, because some things, I sent my friend some things. So some article came out that and some comments that Anthony Starr, who plays Homelander, like, was pushing back against Eric Kripke for like the whole Trump thing, and Starr wanted to be like, hey, let's not lean too much into that. Let's focus on how Homelander was like, raised by a lab. Like, he had nobody to love him, and that's why he's like demented and twisted. But no, Eric Kripke's like, no, Trump's bad, and we gotta do it. So even Anthony Starr wasn't like pleased with how Homelander turned out, which, like, this is what I was talking to my friend about. Like, I feel so bad for Star. We could have had a god tier generational villain on the same level of Darth Vader or Thanos. That's what he was in Season 1. Season 2 kind of, was the same way. Season 3 started falling off, and Season 4 and 5 went off the rails. Like, we could have had, like I said, a god tier villain. But no, the fucking writers had to be like, no, Trump's bad, Orange Man bad, and the whole thing, Homelander on his knees begging, that's just what they want for Trump. And like, I'm not saying you have to like Trump or dislike him, but come on, people, really? Does this one man like have Hollywood in such a stranglehold that they're like, oh my god, like the same thing with Daredevil, like, oh, Kingpin is Trump, Homelander is Trump, like, we get it, you don't like him, can you just move on? Who cares, alright? Alright guys, this is a little edited in part, that's why the angle's a little different. I'm doing this after, but I wanted to discuss Butcher's fate. I mentioned it in the video, but I got so caught up in Homelander. So Huey kills Butcher in Vought Tower after Butcher wanted to wipe out all the soups, and this scene, like I said, in theory, I actually kind of did like. So I predicted Butcher was gonna die. He kind of had to. Like, he's not a good person. Him and Homelander both had to die. I thought it'd be better if they, killed each other. Like, Butcher kills Homelander, but like Homelander like gut punches him or something, and like stabs him, and then that's how he dies. But no, so Huey's the one to take Butcher out, and it was, I did like it. I did like it. I don't know if I like it 100%. There were some parts, I don't know, something just, this whole finale just, granted I just watched it, but this whole finale just feels off. Like, I don't know how to describe it. And there is this like line where like Butcher's like up against like the wall, and they're doing like the thing, like holding each other's hands, and Butcher's like, he was like, oh, I'm sorry, like I didn't mean to, and Butcher's like, nah, don't worry about it, like, it was, basically it was coming for me, it was my time, like don't worry about it, I wanted this, and then he dies. And at the funeral, they lay Butcher next to his wife, which is where he always wanted to be. So yeah, just that. I liked it in theory, but I don't know exactly how I feel about it 100% like the rest of the season. But I just wanted to add this part in right here. So that's about it. That's about it, guys. That's kind of where I'm gonna end it. But yeah, it was. I like parts of it. Like in theory, the things they did, I did like, but I just didn't think they were executed correctly. They needed more time to breathe. We needed more build up. But I guess that's the end of the video, guys. So Homelander went out, offering to suck Butcher's dick like a wimp. Like I said, in theory, not a bad idea for me, but like, make him earn that. Like, I don't have a problem with him begging, turning human begging. That's cool. That's a cool way to like, end his character. But at least let him use the god powers. Like he is immortal. Have him like destroy like the Eiffel Tower, or like shoot a whole stadium. That's another thing. Like, we didn't see Homelander snap. Like the only time we really seen him snap was in season 2, where there's that scene he's lasering the crowd, and that was a dream. So we never truly got to see Homelander break, and that would have been so nice. He just massacring all these people, and then then the fight, and then he becomes, mortal. He becomes human and begs. That would have been okay. That would have been so great. But no, he got the, mortal powers, did nothing, and then die, and then begs. It's like, really, people? I'm gonna stop this video here. That's about all to say. So yeah, The Boys is over. What do you guys think about the finale? Did you watch it? I mean, did you? Yeah, that's a good question. Did you even watch it? Did you make it this far? I know a lot of people didn't. Comment below, tell me your thoughts, and please like and subscribe.